A couple of weeks ago, Dell announced a 20,000 employee layoff, part of their larger plan of reducing their workforce from 130,000 employees to less than 100,000 employees. One of the reasons they mentioned is because they're trying to rely more on AI and technology to replace some of the human labor, which can help them increase their profit margins. Unfortunately, this trend just seems to be growing. Large companies have been using cost-cutting measures such as offshoring for a long time. And now, as AI is getting stronger, this poses a new threat to employees. My biggest advice to professionals is to become more comfortable with technology and always keep your profile and resume updated, because you should always be looking to explore new opportunities, because companies are not going to be loyal to you. So why should you be loyal?
I walked out of a job interview, like maybe 20 minutes ago, and I honestly just do not care. The reason why I walked out is because the job description and what I was being interviewed for just did not match. There was a total of 5 people interviewing me. My scheduled interview was at 10:30, so it would last straight until like 1 or 2 o'clock. And each person that was interviewing me, they were giving me situational scenarios. However, the situational scenarios had nothing to do with the job description. I'm someone that values transparency, especially now in this tough job market, and I just think that was just unacceptable. I just wish more companies would be a little bit more transparent with their job descriptions and what's expected, because I just spent 4 hours trying to figure out answers to a job description that had nothing to do with my qualifications. When I looked at the job description before applying, I made sure that it matched my qualifications, which it did, and the job description was very similar to what I had applied for. And they were also looking for someone that spoke Spanish, so I speak Spanish. I was like, yes, this is mine right here. I was confident in that I can do the job because I've done this before, and I know I can do the job. But the moment I started interviewing and I started hearing the questions they were asking me, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the job description. So I ended up walking out. Unfortunately, my time is valuable. I don't want to put myself in a situation that I'm going to later regret. And I just thought it was just best for just me to like end it there. I can't. I feel like that's a huge red flag. And it was also a huge red flag the first time when I got the call for a phone interview, and I got on the phone interview, and the person that was supposed to schedule me was not the person on the phone interview. So I had no idea who was interviewing me. You could only imagine my face when I saw a different name on the screen and not the person that scheduled me, like the email had said. I, of course, thought that was a red flag, but again, this is a tough job market, and I've been out of work for a whole year, so I wanted to give them a try. And I should have listened to my instinct that first time and just not scheduled the second interview, but here we are. I also think it's another red flag that I was the only one on camera, and everybody else was just off camera, so I don't even know what they look like. But yeah, let me know. How's it going for you? If you're looking for a job in this job market, please let me know. Send me your good vibes, because it's been tough, and I've been looking for a job for a year now, and it's just not working out. I don't know what the hell is going on, but whatever it is going on should be illegal. This is ridiculous. I walked out of an interview.
I've been in the job search since May 2023. Currently working a part-time job as a property manager, and just started an apprenticeship yesterday. I turn 26 next month. I don't have my life together at all, and I don't think a human was meant to take this much rejection in such a short amount of time. Sorry, I'm about to start crying. Like, there needs to be a study with humans that are in the job market right now going through this much rejection. In this process, my confidence has depleted, and I've found it very hard to even get on LinkedIn and apply to jobs. But today I applied to a lot. Glossier being one of them. So I'm hoping that I hear back.
I had a job interview once where at the end of the interview, they were like, oh, and by the way, you work 50 hours a week at this job. Is that okay? And I was like, huh? But you said the contract was for 40 hours a week. You know, the normal amount of time that people work. And they were like, well, yeah, it is, but you're required to work 10 hours of overtime every week. It's a graphic design job. Nothing could be that important for design.
They made it very obvious that it was not going to be a good place to work. They also kept inappropriately badgering me about like why I had left previous jobs, and I had given like bland, normal answers. And then they kept like digging and digging until eventually I was like, well, at this job, the owner threatened to fire the entire department because we discussed our pay with each other. So I quit on the spot. Does that answer your question? No, I'm not going to work 50 hours a week.
I just wanted to come on here and have a little bit of a rant about the current state of the job market. One of my clients this week had a company that ghosted her 3 months ago reach out and want to put another interview in the diary. There was no apology. There was no, oh, sorry, we didn't respond after our 6 interviews that we had with you last time. Sorry, we never got back to you. 3 months later, we're just going to pick up like this is where we left off. They contacted her as if nothing had happened in that time. She had followed up. She'd been polite. She'd left it a few weeks. She'd followed up again. She had sent them not an excessive number of emails, because I did tell her at one point, look, if they're not going to respond to you, let's keep our self-respect here and not respond to them. This is a person that had interviews. She didn't just apply for a role there. She had 6 rounds of interviews. She was at final stage and she heard nothing from them for 3 months. What has happened in the job market that we think this is acceptable behavior? Because this isn't my only client that this kind of thing's happened to. This is happening to so many of my clients. I don't understand why companies think it's okay to treat candidates like this. This is like serious professional companies, like really big household name companies.
If you drop dead at your job today, they will post your job. They will post your job. Did you guys hear about the lady that literally died at her desk? I'm sorry, rest in peace. Died at her desk and was there for days before they even noticed. Your job is your job. They do not care about you. It is a company. They care about the bottom line, sales. It's a company. It's a business. Do not stress yourself out over a job. Do your job, go home, and work on your second stream of income.
Why did you say that we could meet to discuss coverage and then go out of office without telling me?
I don't recall having that happen. Apparently you missed the meeting where we talked about it.
Where was it talked about?
In casual conversation. And
like, I should be aware of these things, you know? Like, I should have some awareness to it if my manager's not going to be here.
How would you like to be made aware?
To be told, you know? Like,
okay.
What meeting was this information shared on that I wasn't a part of? Like, where...
We have team meetings all the time, and we talk about all kinds of stuff.
And it feels like a lot of my roles, like, were just kind of ignored for a week, and then I have to come back and deal with, like, the repercussions.
Well, I'm sorry that you have work to do, but no, we didn't do mini access requests last week because we were in. Listen to me. Because there was only a handful of them.
I know, but I still, like, I got everything handled to where it was at a good point, and I'm coming back to utter chaos. And
no, Allison, the utter chaos, honey, is caused by this IT transition.
I don't know what's been completed. I don't know what still needs action. I tried to be very helpful to you, and I don't think you're being helpful to me.
Allison, I'm sorry that you feel that way. And when I tried to do that, all you've done is argue with me.
I've never been trying to argue with you. You always sound like you're really frustrated and don't like me.
Well, and we've talked about that before.
And then your tone of voice continues to be the same.
Well, I'm very sorry that I'm a very direct person.
And I was just hoping that you could follow up with her, you know, like manager to manager, and like make sure we get on a same understanding.
I think your expectations are inappropriate.
I've just never experienced this.
I don't know what your expectations are.
I expected that we were going to talk about what needed to be done before I left, and that didn't happen. So I tried my best.
So that's a separate issue then.
My job has an employee stock plan where, you pay money into the stocks and you can get it at 15% discount, and the enrollment period is 6 months. So you pay into it for 6 months, and then, you make money off of it, and then it gets cash into your brokerage account. And maybe I'm an idiot for not knowing this, but I've just never worked a job with a stock plan. So I don't know. I guess I just didn't know. Anyway, we all know I've been saving up for a house, and my brokerage account is, part of the money that I've been saving up for the house. So I've been diligently putting, the enrollment period was like March 31st through the 31st of August. And I've been diligently putting my money in there to buy company stock, of course. This has really not been my week. So I've been diligently putting my money from my paychecks automatically contributed into this stock plan. And I had to go on a leave of absence starting on August 30th. The enrollment period ended on August 31st. So because I went on this leave of absence, it made me ineligible for the employee stock plan by 1 day. Okay, it ended on the 31st, and I went on a leave of absence that they made me go on, might I add. I didn't have a choice. They made me go on this leave of absence. But because I went on it during the enrollment period, by 1 day, they took back all of their money. Any money that I made off of the stock, took it all back. And this 1 day cost me so much money. Hundreds of dollars. You guys know I talk about money and finances, so I'm constantly checking my Fidelity account, my retirement account, my brokerage account, my stock plans, everything. So
I put in my 2 weeks 2 weeks ago. I signed the necessary paperwork to be resigned. Tell me when my boss says, yes, you handled it professionally, but I'm a person too. Mind you, this is the same lady that said that she wouldn't write me a recommendation letter if it was in her power. She would say no, and did everything in her power to make me not get the promotion that I wanted so that she can have extra employees, talking about, I'm a person too. These jobs don't care about you. You're just another body to them. Wells Fargo just had an employee that clocked in 4 whole days ago, and they found them dead as fuck at their cuticle.
Ultimately, this role needs 6 years experience. You have 4. We cannot accept that. Also, we're a very diverse workplace. You weren't the right fit. I don't usually call if a candidate didn't get the position, but I wanted to let you know personally you were a great candidate. Keep your eye out for new roles here, and I hope you reapply in the future. Good luck out there in the hiring process.
I think something that this generation really needs to take note of is how your employers treat you. It's not even something where I'm saying, fuck your job, fuck who you work with or who you work for. But like, honestly, if you are somebody who seems to not fit in at a company because the work climate is very bitter and toxic, or you feel like you are constantly putting your all in to receive nothing or very little, I think as a generation, we need to understand that like working harder and doing more doesn't equate to you being more important or more respected. It's like a really big thing now where big companies have like buzzwords. They'll be like, oh yeah, we need someone who takes initiative, who pushes the boundaries, who thinks outside the box and raises issues and concerns where they need to be raised and seek solutions for long-time problems so that you can achieve long-time results. But as soon as somebody come along and voice a problem, as soon as somebody comes along and breaks that mold and, diverts from the status quo or doesn't do what everybody is doing, it's like that person is scapegoated, bro. You could be the best worker there. You could have the best ideas there. What will happen is if the people who are in charge don't like you, it don't matter. You could think of something to fix an entire pipeline of stuff. And you can strike up the idea, you can write it out, you can type up the emails, you can send it to the managers, you can say it in person, you can get other people on to like co-sign. And if you're not somebody who doesn't annoy people because you're not like a yes man or because you're too outspoken, it's not your idea anymore. It doesn't matter what you did. Your 6-month review, it doesn't matter. The one thing they're gonna do is hold on to one time you said something and people agreed with it because that shit was correct or it was true, and they gonna watch the reactions of the people and they gonna watch people around you go like, damn, wait, he kind of right. This is shitty treatment. This is shitty behavior. We should definitely do something about this. As soon as that shit goes south for them, you're in the shitter, bro.